So very good morning to you all students. So today we are here to start up our next chapter, that is chapter number 6, and the name of the chapter, Role of the Police and Courts. We all are aware that how much important is police for all of us. The safety is the first thing, and when we think about the safety of our society, the first thing that came in our mind is police. So police is one who is helping the whole people of the country, so definitely in providing them a safe environment and a secure environment. Along with that, the importance of courts are also very visible or known to all of us. So in this chapter we are just going to dictate about the role of police and the courts. Okay, so what we are going to discuss down in this chapter, so the first point that we are going to discuss down about this chapter is hierarchy in the police forces. The second one, functions of the police, filing of FIR, first investigation report, and fourth one is role of the court, understanding our criminal justice system, and at last we came to know about the case study, and the case study is related with known registrations of FIRs. Okay, so moving further, now I am just going to start up our chapter. As introduction is including down the importance of police. We all are living in a society where law and order plays a very important role. So definitely if our law and order somehow ill-treated or taken down from us by any of a person, so definitely we can able to approach to the police immediately, and police authorities and police are the trusted one where we can able to trust that they will definitely do their duty in a proper manner, and they will definitely help us in each and every sphere. So police department is a kind of a trustworthy department on which a normal person, on which a common person can able to trust that if something injustice is happening with him in this world, in this country, so definitely the police is there to help that particular person. Okay, so moving further, the topic that is there is hierarchy in the police forces. So what does hierarchy means? Okay, so Rajay, it representing the police ranks in state. It is not like the ranks are always there, like some ranks are upper, some are below that. So definitely in the police as well there are different ranks as well, but still they are collectively work as a complete team. Okay, so the different ranks that is in the police department or any of the organization or any of the professional organization, we know there are different ranks. So definitely this happens in the police forces as well. The head of the police at state level is the commissioner of the police, and after that the director general of the police was there, that is DGP. The superintendent of police was below there, and after the superintendent of police, the police inspector was there, and after that the sub inspector was there, and after the sub inspector the head constable and the constable was there. So definitely they all are working together and providing a safe environment. They are working as a team. They are helping us to live a peaceful and a better life in this competitive world where the people are only crazy about to come forward. So police also teaches them some rules, regulations, laws. So just because of the fear of the police, they have to maintain each and everything. Okay, so Rajay, moving further, here is one extract given. So as you all are aware, what you have to do, you have to read down the extract firstly, and after reading the extract you have to try to solve the question that are given below. The police in action. Okay, so moving further, the questions that are given here: which place was affected by the blast? So here's the name of the place given down. You can able to check out from there. Daga Dushat Halwai Ganesh temple is there that was affected by the blast. Okay, so the next question is, where was the bomb placed according to the reports? According to the reports, the bombs according to the report, the bombs were placed in the bike which was parked in the Francisca police station parking lot. Okay, so moving further, the third one, what are some of the function performed by her performed by the police. Okay, so the police cornered off the area and picked up 5 suspects, and the forensic experts caught the area, collect evidences according to the sources, and the team of Mumbai anti-terrorism squad rushes to assist at ATS stations. Okay, so these are the answer of the following questions. So moving further, we are going to understand about the main functions of police. So what are the main function that is being performed down by the police? So some of them are listed down below. So definitely we all are aware, for the security purpose there is a police. So what are the main functions that are being, or what is the kind of importance of the police? To maintain the law and order in a country. It is very much mandatory to maintain law and order in a country, and the police is the one who is checking out whether it is going on or whether it is practiced down in a country in a proper manner, or is there something mishappening. The police is going to punish that person if he is not following the law and order. So the fear of police is actually forces the people to follow the law and orders. Okay, the second one is representing to prevent crimes and control the terrorist activities. So definitely to prevent the crimes and to control the terrorist activities, the police is very much essential to protect the public properties including roads, railways, bridges, etc. against the act of violence or any kind of attack. So definitely if any kind of attack happen down, or any person tries to create a violence in any of a particular area, so definitely he has a fear of police, and police will take down the action against that particular person, because you are a citizen of India and it is your duty to protect the public properties as well, and if you are harming that, so definitely you have to pay for that. So moving further, the next one is related with to create and maintain a feeling of security in the community. Whenever we know that nearby there is a police, so we automatically start feeling little relaxed. We automatically start feeling that nothing is going to be happen with us. We are completely safe. The next one is related with to maintain dignity of individual by safeguarding his fundamental rights. So there are 6 fundamental rights that we discussed down. Right to equality is there, liberty is there, so right against exploitation is there. So these are fundamental rights which is being protected by the police. So the next one is related with to implement the law impartially, without any partiality. The law is being implemented to each and every person, so no partiality will be happen down. It is actually the function of the police. The next one is related with to protect the weaker section of the society. So it is very much important to protect the weaker section of the society from the richer section. So when a person is actually more well, so he considers himself more superior than any other person. So Rajay, here is one fact file given. The Kiran Bedi is the first Indian woman to join the police service, Indian police services in 1972. Okay, so she is actually the first woman who joined the Indian police services, that is IPS officers, in 1972. So definitely before the colonial period, the administrative is going to be decentralized. Decentralized means the powers are being divided down and they are allowed to work only on their own field. But after the time has been changed, the concept has been changed, the need of people welfare is looking down at a larger extent, so the concept is completely be changed down. So what kind of a concept is accepting down in a today's time period? That the police is going to work for the welfare of the people, and all the ranks, all the hierarchies is going to work collectively, just because they have to perform down their duty collectively, just because in a collective manner they can able to perform it in a good way or in a better way. So the police are considered to be the ubiquitous. Ubiquitous is representing a person who is present everywhere. So we don't need to be fear as the police officers. We all are aware that they are available in our locality as well. It is available in your locality as well. It is available in my locality as well for the safety purpose. So definitely police is always there. Police is always there with you, just to save you, just to safeguard you, just to provide you a little relaxation, just to ensure you that your life is our priority and we are just going to save you in any case. Okay, so we don't need to threaten when they're nearby a police is there. So Rajay, one brainstorm is there. How would our life be effective if there is no police? Just think about once. If there is no police, how is our life? Do you have any kind of a fear while committing the crime if you know if you are not going to be punished down by any of one? So definitely you are not going to be taken down any crime or any law at a very serious note if there is no police. If there is no police, if there were no police, there would be no law and order, as there will be none to enforce the law. So definitely when there was no one to enforce the law, who is going to follow that? And people will commit crime openly without any fear. They don't have any fear, any kind of a fear. They just commit down the crime and doesn't pay guilt for that. Okay, so the police is actually very much important in our day-to-day life to move our functioning or move our life in a smooth manner or in a better manner. So what are the other main important functions of the police? Police is to investigate the complaint against the crime that has been committed. A complete investigation which is जांच पड़ताल करना केस की. Okay, so a complete investigation is required down by the police. Who is a witness? Statement of the witness must be there. So evidence must be there. Different kinds of evidence must be there. A charge sheet is being formal document that is being prepared down by the law enforcement agencies, and this charge sheet contains the information about the accused and the witness, the nature of the accusation, specification, identity of the accuser. So these are the elements that is included down in the charge sheet, and this can be taken care by the police. So when any crime committed down, the police has to investigate the case in the proper manner, and after that has to file down the FIR, that is first information report. So an FIR, what is an FIR? An FIR is a very important written document prepared by a police when they receive information about a cognizable offense. Cognizable offense, Rajay, it is representing actually what is cognizable offense, that is very much serious in nature. So any crime that is very much serious in nature, so definitely the police has to file down, or the police has to file down the FIR for that crime. So cognizable offense are the cases that deals with the criminal acts, like any theft occur down, any murder cases there, any rape cases there. So the police can arrest a person even without the warrant. Even the police don't need to make down a warrant for that. So definitely on the spot the police can able to arrest that person if any murder is happened down there, any theft has happened down there, any rape cases there. So police has a complete right to take that person under the control, under the custody, who committed this kind of a crime. And on the contrary, non-cognizable offenses definitely that are not very much serious in nature as compared to the cognizable offense. Example here included down the public nuisance, mischief. The public nuisance is representing like the few people are standing together and not, they are just debating the concept. So these kind of cases are not being included down in the criminal cases. So the criminal cases are considered to be the cognizable, that is very much serious, and police has a complete right to arrest the person without a warrant. Moving further, arrest without warrant. What are the main things that are, what are the main rights, in which cases the police can able to arrest the person even without the warrant. So the cases include if a person commit any cognizable offense. Cognizable, a very serious offense, a very serious crime like murder is there, physical harm is there, kidnapping is there. So no warrant is required for that. A police can able to take that person in a custody, or able to file the FIR against that particular person. And the second one is representing if individual obstruct a police officer or the execution of his duty, or he has escaped or attempt to escape for a lawful custody. So definitely the police can able to, the person is not allowed, if the police is on duty, you are not allowed to harm the police, you are not allowed to misbehave with the police. So if you are doing with that, so definitely you have to suffer a lot for that. Okay, so moving further, the third one is related with, if a person has been declared an offender by the order of the state government or the central government. If the central government or state government said that any of the crime is being committed down by a person, so no warrant is required for that, immediately the police can able to arrest that person. So moving further, now we are going to understand what are the rights of arrested. If a police want to arrest any of a person, so what kind of a right does the police have? So Rajay, actually the police are not allowed to torture or beat or shoot anyone during the investigation. When the investigation is going on, the police is not allowed to even torture or beat, or they are not allowed even to touch to the person when the investigation is going on, because at that particular time period the person is not considered as a culprit one. No cases against that person, so the police is not able to do that. Okay, so for the petty offense as well, so the Constitution of India under the Article 22 guarantee the following fundamental rights to every arrested person. So these are the following fundamental rights, Rajay. Some of the rights are there with the police as well when the police is arresting the person, but on the contrary, if the person is going to be arrested down, some of the rights the Constitution also gives to the person as well. The person has the right to be informed the reason for the arrest and offense he is accused of. So police has to tell to the reason why the person is going to be arrested down by the police. So it is very much mandatory for the police before arresting any person. So the crime must be told to that person, this crime is yours and we are going to arrest you just because of this crime. Okay, so the second one is related with, the person has to present it before the magistrate within 24 hours of arrest, and it is mandatory one. The policeman has to present the person before the magistrate within 24 hours of arrest. The third one is related with, the person cannot be detained in custody without the permission of magistrate beyond 24 hours of arrest. Yes, the next one is related with, the person cannot be ill-treated or tortured during the arrest or custody. So definitely he is not going to be ill-treated in any manner in the custody, because he is under custody and investigation is still proceeding down, so no torture is actually allowed to the police to do with him. The confession made by the arrested person in the police custody cannot be used as evidence against him or her. So the confession that you did in the police station is actually not being considered as evidence for any of the case. Another one, the boy under the age of 15 years and the women cannot be called to the police station only for the questioning. So these kinds of people, a person who is of 15 years old below and a woman is not allowed to or is not allowed to come to the police station, or the police is not allowed to call the women or the child below the age of 15 years to the police station for only the questioning purpose. Okay, so these are the main rights that a person, fundamental rights that a person have when a person is arrested down by the police officers. Okay, so our Constitution give a complete liberty to every person to hire a lawyer to defend him or his charge. So definitely when a case filed down, we definitely hire any of the lawyer there. So our Constitution is allowing us that, and a person can able to take the bail as well for that. So the trial appeal was there, and we have the provision for guaranteeing the anticipatory bail, which is an instruction to release a person on bail till he or she is named as accused or committed non-bailable ऑफेंस. ओके, इट मीन्स जब तक एक इंसान का क्राइम कमिट नहीं हो जाता और ऐसा नहीं प्रूव हो जाता कि इसको बेल नहीं दी जा सकती, तब तक अगर एक इंसान बेल लेना चाहे, इफ अ पर्सन वांट्स टू टेक डाउन द बेल, so definitely he can able to take the bail from the police station. So moving further, now we are going to understand in detail about FIR, that is first information report. As we all are aware about the FIR, we already discussed down the police file down the FIR after completing down the investigation. Anyone can call the report or as offense to the police either orally or in a written form, and whether that particular report is in telephonic form as well. If the police got a telephone even, then the police has to be treated that as an FIR. So after the investigation, the police find if the case is cognizable offense, so definitely the FIR will be registered down there. And if the case is not that cognizable or not in very serious nature, only then the police can able to refuse to file up the FIR. Otherwise, the police has to be, if the case is of a serious nature, like it contains a murder, the physical harm, kidnapping, rape case, so any of these kind of a case will directly lead to the FIR. First information report is there very much essential. So FIR is a document that initiate criminal proceedings to punish the guilty. So definitely FIR is required down when a police file down the FIR. So only then we can able to punish that person who is actually committed down that crime, and it is very easy for us to give the punishment to that person as well, because the crime commitment in our country is actually not acceptable in any of the cases. An FIR should be registered in the police station within whose jurisdiction the crime takes place, and however in case of emergency any other police station may register the FIR and then eventually transfer the investigation to the concerned police station. Likewise, a particular person goes to any other police station or doesn't go to their own locality police station. So if is there any emergency, the police has to file down the FIR, and later the case is being transferred down to your locality. But once the police has to respond on that, okay. So the police can register the FIR based on the phone calls or an emails as well. So it is not necessary that person has to go to the police station and has to register down the FIR. So in case of emergency, if there is any kind of emergency, the police may register down the FIR on the just basis of the phone calls or on the emails. Further, the contents of the FIR, what are the main contents that are there in the FIR? An FIR contains the name and address of the complainant. There is a prescribed form of which the police records an FIR and is signed by the complainant, and a legal right to get free copy of FIR from the police is required down, okay. If the identities of the precipitators and the witnesses are known, then they are not mentioned in the FIR. The accused may be arrested by the committing the alleged offense, okay. So moving further, Rajay, these are the contents that are to be included down by the police while filing down to the FIR. Moving further, there is one search and suffer. What is that? Which article of Indian Constitution give every person a fundamental right to be defended by the lawyer? This is Rajay, Article 22, which actually gives every person a fundamental right to be defended as a lawyer. You can able to hire the lawyer if any of the cases are going on against you, okay. Moving further, the next topic is related with refusal to register an FIR. So what happens if the police actually refuses down to register the FIR? Firstly, if the case is cognizable, if the case is very serious in nature, the police has to register down the FIR. It is mandatory for the police. The police is unable to deny or refuse any kind of these FIR. But still, if the refusal is there while registering down the FIR is there, so An FIR can be registered either as a written statement or the verbal statement or a complaint as complainant is there. So if the police refuses to register an FIR, a written complaint can be sent to the higher ranking officers such as superintendent of police and superintendent of the police, the deputy inspector general of police. So inspector general of police is there. So if the police department of your locality is not hearing your complaint and your case is very much serious and they are not even filing down the FIR, you may approach to the senior officers and a complaint may be given directly to the judicial magistrate as well, and they will directly investigate, or they directly ask to the police that you have to investigate on that particular case. And one can file the case online as well. So online website for that is National Human Rights Commission is there, NHRC. So here's the link also written down. So if the person found that there is a need to complain down further because the police is not responding properly, so he may mail or he may send the message on this website as well. So you may check out this. So if any kind of activities ever happened in nearby your locality. Okay. So moving further, the next one is the function of NHRC. So students, it is your duty to search out what are the main function of NHRC. Okay. So the first one is definitely they are filing down the online complaints on the website, and rest of the functions you have to search it by yourself with the help of better internet connectivity. Moving further, the next one is related with SC directives on non-registration of FIRs. SC directives and the non-registrations of FIR. The Supreme Court says that if an FIR is not registered in a timely manner, then a complaint may approach to concerned magistrate, and the complainant must file a petition to give direction to the police to register the case immediately upon the receipt. Okay, so we may go to the magistrates as well. Even the petition will be filed down against the police that the police is not doing his or her duty in a proper manner. So here is the case study of Rajay. Non-registration of FIR is there. Sonali Paul is there. Actually, this is of around the story of a girl who is of age 39-year-old and she resided in South Kolkata. So she actually commutes a Canning every day. It means that she is going on a traveling activities on a regular day. Her name is already changed down here just because of request. The girl doesn't want to publish down her own name. So definitely her name is changing down here. So some kind of harassment activities is being done by her. So Paul definitely went to the police just to register down the complaint, but the police does not acted upon the case very actively. They just taking down it on a ignorance way, so they doesn't pay much more attention on that. So however, the official of the police station nearby Canning refusal to submit down the case, or they refuses down to submit down the first information report for his case, for her case. So definitely finally in December 2010, Paul was forced to move to the petition under the section 156(3) of the Code of Criminal Proceeding before the Alipore Court Magistrate in Kolkata. And it was only after the direction by the court that the police station in the question, and definitely they have to file down the FIR, and even they have to investigate for the case as well, because the girl with the confidence, with her courage, already filed down the petition. And if any of the case arises down, the police is actually not registering any of your case, and you find that case is very cognizable, and it is the duty of the police to register that, a person may use with the petition activity as well, and after that the police has to register the case in any of the facts. Okay, so Ranjit, one fact file is given here, so just read that what is included down there. So the Supreme Court on November 10, 2013 said it is mandatory, or it is very much important for the police to register the first information report if a complainant approaches them for registration of a cognizable offense. It is very much important for the police to register down the case if the complainant is saying that the case is very serious, the case is very cognizable. So Rajay, here is few questions given down, so you have to answer that. Who is the highest ranking police commissioner in the state? That is Commissioner of Police. Okay, so moving further, the next question is related with what can you do if the police refuse to register an FIR. So what can you do? We here already discussed down this. If the police refuses to register the FIR, a written complaint can be sent to the higher ranking officer such as Superintendent of Police, the Deputy Inspector General and the Inspector General of Police. So similar things is being adopted by me as well. So the next question, when can the police arrest without a warrant? So police may actually arrest without warrant in case of cognizable offense. A police can able to arrest a person even without a warrant when a case is very much serious in nature. So definitely the police has a right to arrest a person. The another one is related with what is the non-cognizable offense. So non-cognizable offense are the cases which are relatively less serious in nature. We had already discussed that. So moving further, now we are going to understand about the roles of court. What is actually the main role of court when any kind of a crime happen down? Like the police already filed down the case, the police already filed down the FIR, and after that we all are aware the case goes to the court. So the judiciary is there. So judiciary actually check out each and everything. They check out the proceeding, the witness, the evidence. After hearing both the parties, after hearing that, the state appointment of the public prosecutor is there and prosecute the case in subordinate courts of the High Court. And due to investigation, charge sheet are filed in concerned court, and the provision of the court will be there. So definitely the court will be there when something mishappening occurs down. First the police will submit down the FIR, the first information report there, and after that the case goes to the courts, and the public prosecutor is there who is checking out the witness, who is witness there, who is executive there. So each and everything is being checked out by the public prosecutor. So moving further, we are here just one search and suffer is given, which is Article 39A of Constitution. So Article 39A of Indian Constitution deal with equal justice and free legal aid. Moving further, the public prosecutors in a court. A public prosecutor in a law officer who conduct a criminal proceeding on the behalf of the state in the public interest. And what is actually the role of the public prosecutor? Actually, this public prosecutor is appointed by the state, and he conduct the prosecutions on the behalf of the state. He must present a truthful picture before the court, because that person is actually very loyal to the court. So definitely he is actually presenting a truthful or genuine picture before the court, and he act in accordance with the direction from the trial judges. The public prosecutor play a critical role in maintaining the impartiality in a criminal justice. So he is actually playing a role that no partiality will happen down in the judgment which is being given by a judge in the court. So he is checking out of that. It is her or his duty to present a complete material, fact, witness and evidence before the court to enable the court to react or reach in a conclusion. The next one is representing the public prosecutor. Duty begins after the police file charges will be over down. Okay, so this the prosecutor is also required to assist the court in arriving at judicious sentencing in the accused by arguing with the defense. So what is actually the eligibility for being a public prosecutor there? So eligibility for that, he must have a practice as an advocate for at least 7 years. 7-year practice as a lawyer, as an advocate is necessary if a person want to become a public prosecutor. So special public prosecutors are there, so who need 10 years practice of advocate at least. So these are considered to be a special public prosecutor, and if you want to be that, so definitely these kind of experiences will be very much important for you. And another one that is a mandatory, we can able to say eligibility, he or she is appointed with the agreement of the Chief Justice of High Court. So Chief Justice of High Court is there, and they made an agreement, and after that that particular person is appointed down there. Moving further, the judge in a court. So definitely there are different, we all are aware that different levels of court are there. Supreme Court are there, High Court are there, and after that High Court, the district courts are there. So in each and every court there is a judge as well to give a proper judgment. So judge actually hears all the witnesses, all the evidences, all the case in a complete detail, and after hearing the case a complete detail, after hearing the complete detail, a judgment is given by a judge. And if a person feels guilty, then he may got punished down, or if he feels innocent, so definitely he will release down from the jail in any of case. If the accused is guilty, then the judge pronounces the sentence and he may send to the jail. Pronounces the sentence means any kind of a punishment is being given by the judge. It may be arrest warrant, or it may be kind of a fine charges. So definitely that person goes to the jail and he imposes a fine, and even that he has to spend some time in the jail. Even both can be sentenced down by the judge as well. It depends on the case and the crime that is being committed down a person, how much big crime is being committed down that particular person. It depends on that. Moving further, the next one is related with understanding our criminal justice system. So how we can able to understand our criminal justice system after a person is going to be arrested down by, and it is the court. And once the police, I told you earlier as well, arrested the person, it is the court who decided whether the person is guilty or not. And if the person is guilty, definitely he will get the punishment, and if not, he will be suspended down by after giving the statement from the court. According to the Constitution, every individual charged of a crime has been given a fair trial. Actually, a fair trial ensured by the Article 21 of the Constitution, protection of the life and personal liberty, which states that no person shall be deprived of his life or personal liberty except according to the procedures established by the law. So this is actually applicable for everyone, no matter from which caste a person is belonging down, from which color he is belonging down, from which is her gender. So it is actually no kind of a discrimination will be practiced down while doing these activities. Okay, so judge need to remain impartial and decide the case on the basis of the evidences that are submitted down in the court, and a fair judgment is always being preferred down by the judge. So this is all about your chapter. Here is a picture given. This is a picture of the first Chief Justice of India. Chief Justice of India. Who is the Chief Justice of India? You all are aware with that. And find out his name. His name is H.J. Kanya. Okay. Who appointed him as the Chief Justice? Dr. Rajendra Prasad appointed him as the Chief Justice. So for how many days did he serve at his position? From 26 January 1950 to 6 November 1951, it's around 649 days he served at his position. Okay, so there are a few questions that you have to answer orally. What does the criminal justice system in India include? The police, the judiciary, and the prosecution are being included down in the criminal justice system. So the next one is, who is public prosecutors? So definitely, who is public prosecutor? As we had already came to know, a public prosecutor is a law officer who conduct criminal proceeding on the behalf of the state or in the public interest. Okay. So the next question is depicting who appoint the public prosecutor for a case. The state government is the one who is appointing the public prosecutor for a case. Who decided if the accused is guilty or not? The court of law actually decided down if the person is guilty or not. What happens if a person is guilty? So definitely, if a person is guilty, then the judge pronounces a sentence. He might send to the jail, or he imposed down the fine, and even the both things happen with the person. So what is fair trial? A fair trial gives that accused the right to defend himself or herself in the court, and if the accused cannot afford a lawyer, then the state provide the lawyer at its own expenses. That is included down under the Article 39A. So Rajat, this is all about the chapter, that what we came to know about. In this chapter, we came to know about the different ranks of police in the state, what are the main functions, role of the police, arrest warrant, what the arrest warrant arises down. Further, we came to know about the rights that have the person who is going to be arrested down. Further, we came to know about the FIR, how the FIR is being filed down, what are the main content that is being included down by the police while filing the FIR. Further, we came to know about the refusal to the registration of FIR, and further the directive or non-registration of FIR is included down there. We have a different rights if the FIR is not being filed down by the police. Further, we came to know about the role of court, the role of public prosecutor, what is the eligibility to become a public prosecutor, and the different judges of the court. And at last, we came to know about the understanding our criminal justice system. So this is all about the chapter. I think you all are clear with it. So now what you have to do after watching the video, you have to read the chapter from your book thoroughly by yourself, and after completing down the reading, make sure that you try to attempt the exercise that is given at the end of the chapter, and try to solve this exercise by yourself without taking the help of any other person.